Hello, my name is Abby Drew. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed or left me a wonderful, lovely comment. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. And hello, if you're new here. On this channel, we talk about manifestation, spirituality, a little bit of science stuff, and do tarot and guidance cards readings all in the name of living our highest timeline. Today, we're going to talk about letting go, whether it is about letting go of a past situation, person, anxiousness, fear, or letting go of a manifestation. I'm going to tackle it from two different angles because whether it's you've been replaying something over and over in your head and people are just like, you gotta let it go, you gotta let it be, or you've been in the manifestation space and people, 1,000 coaches have told you you have to let it go to have it, to get more of it, and you're like, I'm trying. Whichever situation you're in, we're going to talk about how to let go, what it actually means to let go, and why it's the ultimate power move against the universe. So, we've all heard it that everything would improve. You'd get everything that you want if you could just let go. Whether it's letting go of an anxious fantasy where you keep playing a projected argument over and over again, or it's a fear that you have, or you can't let go of a past person or situation that's plaguing your mind, and you've been told to let go to help yourself emotionally heal, or you've been manifesting and you keep on hearing that you have to let go to let in, or letting go, if when once you let go, that's when everything happens. It seems like everyone is saying letting go is the cure all to all your problems, whether it's about something that you want or something that you want to be rid of. I have struggled with understanding letting go for ages, since probably the start of my manifestation journey. I didn't quite understand what it meant. I thought letting go was kind of like pretending like you didn't want the thing that you wanted, or not thinking about the thing that was on your mind. I thought letting go meant you had to be like, no, universe, I don't want it, don't give it to me, so that the universe would give it to you. Like, first of all, what kind of non-consensual logic is that doesn't make any sense. Second of all, like, let's have a look at the belief. Why would the universe give me something only if I didn't want it? Doesn't add up, right? It also doesn't fit in with the laws of the universe that we talk about, like law of assumption, law of attraction. Looking at this from a law of assumption lens, that would be, I assume that the universe doesn't give me things that I want and only gives me things that I don't want. So therefore, I have to convince the universe that I don't want the thing that I secretly do want, so that the universe will give me what I want, which is what I'm pretending I don't want. Make it make sense. Same thing with like letting go of like an emotional hurt, and people are like, well, you have to let go. Like, this is law of attraction, I guess, at play. You have to let go of that so you don't get more of it, or so that you don't keep suffering from the same thing. And I totally agree. Like, we should let go, let live, and free ourselves from things that are holding us back, or things that are not even just like not good feeling, but are not a story that is truthful to us, or helpful or beneficial to us in any way. Once you've like lived through something that was traumatic or a negative experience, like, don't force yourself to suffer. You don't want to extend your suffering by replaying it over in your head. And likewise with anxiousness or fear, you don't want to preempt your suffering with more suffering. And whether that thing is going to happen or not is beside the point, and you don't know. So why make yourself suffer with something that hasn't happened yet or won't happen? So letting go makes a whole lot of sense. We all agree on that. Unlike my twisted version of it that I struggled with for years, I think I finally understand what letting go really means. So I'm going to first talk about the emotional letting go, and then I'll talk about the manifestation letting go. So I'll put timestamps down in the description below so you can skip ahead to that if you're just here for manifestation. So in terms of letting go emotionally, whether it's letting go of a past situation or a fear that you have, something that you keep replaying over and over in your mind, someone you keep thinking about, etc., it's not about forcing yourself to stop thinking about that thing, that person, that situation, that fear. What it is it's about allowing those thoughts to pass through and not identifying with them. I think the law of attraction community is responsible for this guilt and this shame that people have around negative thoughts, negative emotions, replaying negative scenarios, etc. in their head. And we don't want to beat ourselves up for having anxiety or for having anxious thoughts or for replaying something that was really emotionally damaging to us. Like, of course you're doing that. Like, it's totally normal and part of the emotional process. And the more you actually try and fight against it and the more you beat yourself up for it, the more you're actually dragging yourself back into that loop. And so we don't want to try and block those thoughts or block those emotions, stop them from happening. Instead, think about it this way. There's someone, like, let's say you're playing a memory that is troubling to you. In your mind, you're watching the memory and you're in the memory, right? You're watching yourself in the memory. There's the you who's having the memory, who's thinking the memory. And then there's the you who's realized that there's you having the memory of you. So there's the person who you were in the past, who the memory is of. There's the you who is thinking the memory or replaying the memory. And then there is you, the observer, who is witnessing you replay the memory of you. And realizing that we are not the person who the memory is of. We're not the person who is thinking the memory. We are the observer. That is our conscious awareness. And if you can step more into that place of observing, of witnessing yourself, rather than being identified with the doing, the action, aka replaying this memory, or the person who the memory is of, you, from the past. If you can identify more with the observer rather than the doer or the haver, then you'll find it so much easier to just let those thoughts, let that memory pass through. And when I say pass through, it's kind of like you watch it come into your mind. You go, oh, that's happening. And then because you don't attach to it, because you don't attack yourself for having it, it loses all momentum and it's not interesting to your brain because your brain's just like, oh, it's as interesting as a leaf blowing past you. It's there and then it's gone. Letting go emotionally, that would be the way that I would do it, is stepping into more of the observer role rather than the identifying with the doer or the haver. Same with fears and anxieties. When those thoughts, those anxious thoughts come up, instead of believing their truth, instead of being like, oh, I'm the person who can never talk to people in a group setting or what have you, whatever the anxiousness is about, instead of identifying with that, be like, oh, I'm having the thought that I struggle with social situations. This is just an example. I have a thought that I struggle with social situations, that I'm not confident. Who am I? Well, I'm the person who's having the thought. I'm actually the person who's watching myself have this thought. And that's really who I am. I'm not the person who I'm imagining struggling in a social situation. I'm not the person having the thought of struggling in a social situation. I'm the person witnessing that thought come across my mind. And in that way, you can step back into your consciousness, your awareness, and center yourself rather than feeling like your thoughts are happening to you and telling you what's what. It's like, oh, I see you, thoughts. And off they go. So that's how I would let go emotionally or mentally of something that's been on your mind or that plagues you. And you'll find that just like frees up a lot of your energy and a lot of your emotional space to witness new things. Now, let's talk about in the manifestation space. So, yes, you've heard that you have to let go of it so that you can have it. And silly old me used to think that this meant that I had to not want the thing. I had to give up wanting it, give up the desire so that I could have it. First of all, why would I want something that I don't want? Second of all, isn't it a contradiction to give up the wanting of something just so I can have the thing because I want it, right? I'm giving it up because I want it, but I have to give up wanting it so I can have it because I want it. Like it just, it makes absolutely zero sense, right? This is what I've realized. I've realized what letting go really means. Letting go doesn't mean stopping wanting something. Letting go means stopping waiting for something. Let that sink in. So when we're in the holding on to a manifestation, right? When we're in the space of needing to let go of something, we're in the space of anticipating it, of watching it carefully, of waiting for it, of being like, okay, is it happening now? Is that thing that happened over there, is that a sign that it's happening now? Am I on my path to it? If I do this process, if I write these affirmations 3 times a day, that'll get me to it. And it's like holding on to it because you're like, I don't trust that it's going to happen. If I take my eyes away from it, if I don't do these affirmations, if I don't do my scripting, it's not going to happen. And so you're like watching, and you're watching reality, you're watching the space around you like, okay, where is it? Any signs of it? And so that's in the energy of anticipating it, of waiting for it. And letting go is letting go of that state. It's not saying, I give up on my desire, I don't want it anymore, I don't care about it. It's not saying that. Letting go is, I don't have to wait for it, I don't have to look for it because it's inevitable. It's happening. I have it already. I have everything I need. I have everything I want. Everything is working out perfectly. So why would I stress? Why would I stress about it? And that is letting go, because you've let go of needing to strangle something with your attention for it to happen. You're like, I know I don't have to pay attention to this. I know I could do anything and it would still happen because I want it, and my word is law. So when you let go, you're not giving up on your desire. You're not giving up on your manifestations. You don't have to convince the universe that you don't care about it and that you really actually don't want it, and you wouldn't really care if it happened either way. It's not about convincing the universe of that. First of all, the universe doesn't have a brain. It's not making logical decisions like, okay, Abby doesn't care about that thing anymore, so let's give it to her. Like, it's not doing that. The universe, one, is you. Watch my short video on that if you're interested about why my realization of what it actually means to be creation and why we actually are creation itself and the universe itself. Anyway, so that's that. Second of all, you can't help the things you want. It's not a bad thing to want things. Why would you need to earn the thing that you want by not wanting it? I think there's also like a lot of stuff from Christianity and other religions have, I'm just saying Christianity because it's the one that I'm most exposed to, but has come into the spiritual community like this idea of earning or selflessness, and that being the reason why you get things. If that was the reason why people got nice things, then explain why people who are not great people have a lot, and there are plenty of wonderful, lovely hearted people who don't have much. Like, the world clearly doesn't work like that. The universe is not a meritocracy. You don't have to earn your desire by being selfless. You don't have to earn your desire by having copious amounts of gratitude. You don't have to earn your desire by convincing that you don't want things and that you're like a Buddhist monk who has no desires in the world. You know, you don't have to earn or convince anyone to get what you want. All you have to do is believe that you are it, that you are all there is. And if you want it, you have it. Letting go of powers being outside of you, stepping into the power is you. So whether we're talking about emotional states or manifestation, holding on in the space of needing to let go happens out of lack, a lack mindset, a fear mindset. Whether it's the replaying of the past, it's happening because you're fearful that it'll either happen again or that you'll need to face a trial like that in the future. In regards to manifestation, it's the fear that that thing won't happen unless you keep your attention on it. It's about micromanaging it out of fear that you don't deserve it, that you won't get it, that it won't happen for you, that it's not possible, etc. Letting go is faith. And I feel funny about the word faith because I think people think faith means that you can have absolutely no doubt and that's the only way you can get something. You're allowed to have doubt. There are plenty of things that I've manifested where I've doubted them or not, or been like, I don't even know how that would happen. I can't figure out the why or the how. I just want it, and then it happens anyway. Letting go is having faith that everything is unfolding perfectly, that you don't need to put your attention or any more energy or effort into the things that the intentions that you have set, the manifestations, the desires that you have. Letting go is knowing that everything is working out perfectly and that your desired outcome is inevitable, that you already have it actually. There's you who already has it in the future. It's already the timeline that you're on. When manifesting, a great way to let go as well is understanding that you don't need to know the how. You don't need to figure out how it's going to happen or why it would happen or the series of little events that would take you into that reality. You don't need to figure that out. Things happen, they just happen. They just roll around. And sometimes you could never even predict how a manifestation could come to you. So don't worry about the how. Let go of that. Who cares? It'll happen. And you know, when it happens, you'll be like, oh, I didn't even see that coming. Or I kind of knew, like, it doesn't even matter when it happens if you're like, I knew that that was leading to that, or I knew that would be a precursor to it, or that was a sign, or I couldn't have predicted this, or I don't know where this came from, but here it is. Like, it doesn't matter how it happens. It's happening. It's happened. You are it. It's there. You're now. You're here. You're there right now. Before we finish up, I want to take you through a little mind exercise. This will be specifically for the manifestation stuff, but I feel like if you're having anxious thoughts or negative emotions come up, this is a great practice as well to help you get in the zone, in the state of being free, liberated from wherever you're at currently. So I want you to imagine that you're on a timeline. And I'm sort of imagining like there's a white space and there's like a sort of a ruler kind of in front of me with like little markings on it, like a scale. And I'm here, I'm standing on the timeline. I can see that that's now. And I can see sort of a series of events in front of me, maybe things that I would predict that would happen based on past experience or what have you. Doesn't have to be things that I want. It's just wherever I think I'm going right now. Could be things that I want. And I want you to imagine that you're walking along the timeline and that the timeline is also coming towards you as you're moving through time and time is moving through you. Now, from your timeline, see either a branch off it from where you're standing now, there's a branch off it, or there's a parallel one running very close next to you, somewhere that's easily accessible to where you're at now on the timeline. And on that branch or that parallel timeline, you see a series of events that is everything that you want, your ideal reality. And as time is moving through you, I want you to just take the tiniest step onto that other timeline. And it's very easy to jump there. It's so easy. So just take the tiniest step, no effort required, and you're on that timeline. And you're watching the timeline come closer to you, moving through you. The little notches on the timeline come closer and closer and closer and keep passing through you. You see symbols of things, of events, of images, of things on your ideal reality, your desired outcome. And they're happening, and they're just happening through you. They're just happening through you. It's so easy. It's inevitable. They're always coming towards you, and then they pass you, and then you're on to the next wonderful thing. There you are. That's where you are. That's life. There will be a guided meditation accompanying this video for letting go. And so I encourage you to have a look at that either when you're falling asleep or when you have some quiet time today. I hope you enjoyed that little exercise in letting go and knowing that the wonderful things that you want are inevitable for you and you're already there. It's already happening. If you would like a personal reading from me, you can go to moodymoonthings.com. You can also ask me any of your manifestation questions and get my 12-month transformational manifestation workbook. Check out my TikTok if you want to learn more about that. There's also some free workbooks on there to get you started. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm excited to make more videos for you guys in the future. I know there's been a little bit of a break, but I'm excited to get back into it. Thank you for subscribing and commenting your lovely comments and liking this video. My name is Abby Drew, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!